It all began when Dillon Gabriel discovered that Shedeur, not him, had been handpicked by Nike to headline their prestigious next-gen football showcase in Los Angeles, a massive, star-making platform meant to highlight the future faces of the NFL. For Shedeur Sanders, it was yet another public victory in his already meteoric rise. His face was everywhere, on Nike billboards, Instagram campaigns, and teaser videos that made him look like he'd been born for the spotlight. For Gabriel, it was a devastating snub. He wasn't even on the shortlist. Not a backup, not a mention, on nothing. And when that news broke inside the Browns facility, everything changed. Witnesses say Gabriel's reaction wasn't just disappointment. It was an eruption. The sound of metal lockers slamming echoed through the halls as he shouted that Nike only cared about his last name, not his game. His voice cracked with fury and frustration, his teammates frozen as he paced like a man unraveling. The energy inside that locker room turned heavy, suffocating, as the once mild-mannered quarterback lost his composure completely. Several players stepped in, trying to de-escalate the situation, but the damage was already done. Everyone knew from that moment on that Gabriel's resentment toward Shedeur had crossed a line that might never be repaired. And what made it all worse was Shedeur's reaction, or rather, his lack of one. While Gabriel fumed, Shedeur sat silently scrolling on his phone, offering the occasional polite smile when teammates congratulated him. His calm confidence only amplified Gabriel's frustration, creating a visible split in the locker room. One man looked furious at a system that ignored his hard work. The other looked like the system was designed for him. What most people don't realize is that Gabriel's anger didn't come out of nowhere. For weeks, his representatives had been in active talks with Nike, crafting a pitch around his underdog story, the walk-on who defied every odd, climbed from anonymity to NFL starter through sheer willpower. It was the kind of inspirational narrative that brands typically eat up. His team thought it was a done deal. Then, without a single warning or courtesy call, Nike ghosted them. Gabriel didn't find out through a phone call or an email. He found out like everyone else on Instagram, where Nike unveiled their new poster boy, Shedeur Sanders, shining under studio lights with the caption, "The future isn't waiting. It's already here." Within minutes, that post exploded online. Fans celebrated Shedeur's rise while others mocked Gabriel's absence. "Sorry, Dillon, but you're not it," read one brutal comment. Another cut even deeper. "Nobody's buying your jersey. Shedeur is the brand." That last jab hit like a knife because it wasn't just an insult, it was true. In today's NFL, performance alone doesn't guarantee stardom. It's about marketability, charisma, and how much cultural gravity you can pull. Shedeur has that in abundance. Dillon doesn't. Shedeur's name carries legacy, his father's legendary career, his confidence that borders on arrogance, his effortless ability to dominate not just the field, but also the timeline. He's a walking headline, and Nike knew exactly what they were doing. By midday, the Nike effect was trending nationwide. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and YouTube channels flooded the airwaves dissecting every angle of the feud. It wasn't just about football anymore. It was about what mattered in sports culture today. Fame over fundamentals, influence over execution. Gabriel became the unwilling poster child of the old guard, the athlete who still believed that numbers and stats spoke louder than social media followers. But the world had moved on. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed the truth. Nike wasn't chasing touchdown records. They were chasing cultural icons. They wanted players who transcended the sport, who could sell sneakers in cities that didn't even watch football. Shedeur fit that mold perfectly. Millions of followers. Viral moments. Every outfit, every statement turned into a trending topic. He didn't just play the game, he shaped the conversation around it. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, though statistically impressive, couldn't command that kind of attention. His 4,127 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, and 67% completion rate meant little in a world where engagement metrics outweighed QB ratings. Shedeur, with slightly lower numbers, was still the one whose jersey sales doubled Gabriel's, whose highlights dominated social feeds, whose name reached audiences that Gabriel never could. The fallout was swift and visible. During practice, ESPN cameras caught Gabriel visibly off, missing easy throws, his rhythm gone. His shoulders were slumped, his energy dimmed, his leadership evaporating under the weight of embarrassment. Meanwhile, Shedeur moved through drills with perfect composure, joking with teammates, signing autographs for fans afterward, projecting the image of a man completely in control of his destiny. When reporters asked Shedeur about the Nike showcase, he responded simply, "I'm grateful for the opportunity." That single sentence, measured, humble, and media-trained, made him look like the mature professional, while Gabriel refused to even speak to the press, storming past cameras without a word. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. To the public, one looked like the future face of the NFL. The other looked like a man cracking under the pressure of irrelevance. Inside the Browns facility, this wasn't just gossip anymore. It was division. Some veteran players were fed up with Gabriel's outburst, calling it childish and self-absorbed. They believed no player should implode over a marketing deal when the team had bigger goals, actual games to win. But the younger players, they saw it differently. To them, Gabriel's anger wasn't misplaced. It was justified. He was the better performer, yet he was being overshadowed by a name, a legacy, a brand that seemed untouchable. Their argument wasn't just emotional, it was backed by numbers. Gabriel's passing stats dwarfed Shedeur's, but stats, as painful as it is to admit, no longer tell the full story. Shedeur's popularity wasn't measured in yards, it was measured in engagement, influence, and perception. When Nike ran focus groups asking fans which quarterback they wanted representing their brand, Shedeur won by a landslide. He didn't just connect with football fans, he reached pop culture audiences that didn't even know what a quarterback rating was. It's the new NFL, a league where being marketable matters as much as being talented. And that realization broke Dillon Gabriel. He wasn't losing to a better athlete. He was losing to a phenomenon. Head coach Kevin Stefanski tried to intervene, calling both quarterbacks into a private meeting to smooth things over. But it backfired. Sources say Gabriel erupted again, accusing the organization of favoritism, of giving Shedeur every advantage while sidelining him despite better results. He pointed to examples: social media posts that favored Shedeur, sponsorship opportunities that never reached his desk, and team events that seemed designed around Sanders' image. His frustration, bottled up for months, finally poured out in raw, unfiltered fury. By the end of that meeting, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a rift. It was a fracture, one that might never fully heal. The situation now looms over the Browns like a dark cloud. The team's leaders are walking a tightrope, trying to keep the focus on football while managing egos that are ready to explode. The Nike showcase is set to go forward, and Shedeur will undoubtedly shine under the lights. But back in Cleveland, the real question lingers. Can Dillon Gabriel recover from this? Or has his breakdown already written the next chapter of his career? In the modern NFL, it's no longer enough to be great. You have to matter. And that's the bitter truth tearing Dillon Gabriel apart. The realization that in a world ruled by algorithms and endorsements, greatness without glamour just isn't enough anymore. What do you think? Is Dillon Gabriel justified in his frustration? Or is he letting jealousy ruin his career? Should brands like Nike value performance over personality? Or has the game simply evolved beyond that point? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because this story is only getting started.